Let's go! Back racing in the Motor City. And a good start from Pato O'Ward. But here's Rossi looking up the inside. Pagano in that bright yellow car on the inside of Ryan Hunter-Reay. Ready to go, the Chevrolet Detroit Grand Prix. It's day 2, round 8 in the championship. Good start, Renus VK. He's up the inside. No, he's not. Colton Herta won't let him. Rossi.
Look at Rossi, 3 wide. Rossi into Rosenqvist, into Dixon.
What a
and
save.
Miraculously, Dixon hangs on.
Hello IndyCar and Formula 1 fans, welcome to Formula Pun Racer. Today is June 17. I gotta say, the Detroit duel this past weekend for the IndyCars was quite exciting, except there was one major problem: the way NBC handled the TV coverage. And not only that, the red flag that occurred 5 laps before the finish of the first race, I'm sure that got a lot of people's blood boiling, and Will Power, to say the least, was one of the hottest and maddest about it. And I tell you, the way that race was handled, as well as TV coverage, that is worthy of Will Power's double middle fingers at Loudon in 2011. Oh, I love you for that, Will Power. You made me laugh when you did that, despite the penalties you had got inflicted with it. But anyway, let's just say that NBC in this case, for making us wait longer than we should have for the coverage because of the French Open and some Olympic tryouts for both days, in fact, that was just pathetic. In fact, I'm sure that Marjorie Mason here has her opinion on what she has to say about NBC, or no brain cells, basically.
Boo! Boo! Boo!
Despite the TV coverage screw-ups and the unnecessary red flag 5 laps before the end of the first round, it turns out the TV ratings for both the Detroit races were higher than the 2019 races. Who would have thought? Unfortunately, though, as for Will Power, who was leading with 5 laps before the end of the race, before the red flag came out because Romain Grosjean hit the wall, pretty unnecessary because it wasn't really that bad, and there was no need for a red flag just 5 laps from the finish just for that. He was roasting like a chicken because of the aero screen and such, and then his power unit overheated, so he ended up losing the lead and finishing a few laps down. The biggest highlight of the race was on lap 25, when Felix Rosenqvist brought up the red flag when his throttle stuck and went straight on into the tire barrier, knocking down the catch fence, and his car pointed upwards towards the sky. It took a few minutes for the crew to extract him, as well as to fix the barrier, so for Felix, his Swedish drive went sourish alright. But fortunately, despite the fact he had to be taken to the hospital for observation, there were no broken bones or anything life-threatening, so if he ain't broke, don't Felix him. With Felix Rosenqvist laid up in the hospital and not medically cleared to drive in the second Detroit race, you're probably wondering who at McLaren, Ara Schmidt-Peterson, would take his seat. It turns out one of their former drivers, Oliver Askew. But unfortunately, his power unit failed at one point in the second race, and he was out. But no crash, at least.
Where's Marcus?
Marcus Ericsson? He won the first race of the 2 in Detroit. And how about that? Because June 12th, the day he won, was 2 years to the day I got this beautiful Swedish car, so Sweden celebrates alright. With Marcus winning the first, I get this car 2 years before that, and what better way to celebrate than with some Swedish fish? Congratulations, Marcus. Joseph Newgarden started on pole in the second race in Detroit, with Andretti Autosport driver Colton Herta starting second. A few corners in, and it was already bizarre, with Max Chilton getting up behind Andretti Autosport driver James Hinchcliffe of Canada. I would say that's not exactly the best way to wing it, as he was in for quite the wheelie. While Max Chilton finished 22nd, a bigger highlight of the race occurred on lap 57, when Romain Grosjean spun out and his brakes caught fire. Well, he was actually out of the car as quick as lightning, just like in his near-fatal accident in Bahrain, but at the same time, he was quick to grab a fire extinguisher and try to put out the fire on his brakes, but he was pushed away and by the safety crew instead they take care of it.
Thank God.
Dutch driver Renus VK of Ed Carpenter Racing unfortunately had a bicycling accident shortly after the Detroit duel and broke a clavicle, so he's not cleared to drive. So who will take a spot at Ed Carpenter Racing, you ask? I should ask you. Oh wait, you can ask me. It's Oliver Askew. Yeah, that's right. He'll be taking over Venus VK's spot at Ed Carpenter Racing for the Road America race this Sunday. Also, at Dale Coyne Racing, Romain Grosjean and Ed Jones will have a new teammate for the Road America race, Cody Ware, Rick Ware's son. And this is going to be exciting because this will be Cody Ware's first IndyCar race, which is something that he was hoping to do this year at the Indianapolis 500, but he withdrew before he qualified because of lack of sponsorship funds. And this is really exciting for me because Cody Ware has Asperger's syndrome, a high-functioning form of autism, and so he's just like me. He's on the spectrum among many other people, and so this is great because he'll be the first autistic driver to race an IndyCar. And Cody, if you're watching this, I wish you great luck alongside Romain Grosjean and Ed Jones at Road America, and I hope you'll be able to try to race at the Indianapolis 500 yet next year, because I will be so looking forward to that. In fact, I definitely have my ticket for next year ready as well. And finally, with Felix Rosenqvist at McLaren not cleared to race still because of his evaluation at the hospital, who's going to replace him for Road America US to race alongside Patricio Ward? It'll be the former F1 Danish butter cookie that was Romain Grosjean's teammate at Haas for the past few years. The one, the only, Magnussen. Kevin Magnussen. The last 6 laps of the race would go down to the wire between Penske's Joseph Newgarden, Andretti's Colton Herta, and McLaren Arash Peterson's Patricio Ward. And with Joseph Newgarden dominating the majority of the race, he would eventually lose the lead to Patricio Ward. Colton Herta would try to hold on, but unfortunately he cooked the brakes at one point and overshot a turn, which let Alex Palou of Spain of Ganassi sail on by to finish 3rd. Colton would finish 4th, but Patricio Ward would go on to win the race from Joseph Newgarden and take the points lead over Alex Palou by just 1 point. It just goes to show one thing about this rising star from Mexico. The odds are standing pato, and with him leading the championship, if he were to win it, it would be his biggest award yet. Before I conclude with the news about IndyCar and F1 racing, I got a little shocking news to say that Formula E is back this weekend in a doubleheader south of the border. So, I'm sure Andretti BMW, Audi, Neo, Dragon, and especially Jaguar and Diaz Techeetah are pleased to be starting to run up again. With that said, let's see what my sister's cat Meatball has to say about her British cousins preparing to start up again in Puebla, Mexico. Well, thanks for your input, Meatball. As one cat to another, I'm sure victory from Jaguar will be just what the cat dragged in. With Mexico's Sergio Perez of Red Bull Honda winning in Azerbaijan early this month, along with his fellow countryman Patricio Ward winning his 2nd career IndyCar race in Detroit as well as leading the championship, combine that with the fact that Formula E is racing in Mexico this weekend, it tells me one thing for all the Mexican racing fans. It's a fiesta and something so exciting to talk about. To wrap up this video, this Sunday on June 20th, Formula 1 takes place at the French Grand Prix at Paul Ricard. That same day and the day before, Formula E makes a shocking return to Mexico in the town of Puebla. And on June 20th, the IndyCars race at the very popular Road America circuit in the state renowned for the Green Bay Packers, who are 4-time Super Bowl champions, Coles, where you can expect great things, and most importantly, cheese. So if you think that it was exciting to watch the IndyCars in Detroit and the F1 in Azerbaijan before that, things are about to get pretty cheesy this Sunday. Let's see if Patricio Ward can hang on to his points lead, and can Max Verstappen hold on to his F1 points lead going into France. We will see. Tune in, and if you like my videos, please like, comment, and subscribe. I always read everyone's comments. I'm Aaron Cylinder, firing on all cylinders.